Back to the football, back to the transfers. And Darmasheth is alongside me once again. OK, so talking about West Ham going for players, and on this occasion with Noussair Mazraoui, not managed to get it over the line. But why? Yeah,
this was developing quite quickly, actually, because yesterday we got the news that West Ham had actually agreed a deal with Bayern Munich, worth in total €19.5 million, 16 million euros initial fee, 3.5 million euros performance-related add-ons for Mazraoui. He was just waiting for the green light to travel to London to have a medical, but West Ham couldn't agree on the finances and the details of the contract. And it looks like that deal is now broken down. So West Ham, we think, are now looking and pursuing other targets. We know during this transfer window, they've spoken to Southampton over Kyle Walker-Peters. They've spoken to Manchester United over Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Both players, interestingly, have entered the final year of their contract. So even though nothing is developing at this stage with 5 weeks to go, the later in the window you get with a player who's entering the final year of his contract and who's not going to sign a new contract, maybe a potential buying club will see that they can maybe bring the price down the later in the window we go. So maybe a couple to watch there. With regard to Mazraoui, Manchester United were interested at the same time that West Ham were trying to agree a deal with Bayern Munich. And we're told that United's interest remains and that they remain in talks with Bayern Munich over a deal. However, they, that is Manchester United, have to create squad space before they bring in a right-back or any other areas that they want to strengthen. And that's where Aaron Wan-Bissaka becomes key in this whole kind of domino effect as far as Manchester United are concerned. West Ham may go back in for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. There will be other clubs who are interested in Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka himself wants to explore all of his options. One of those options that was mooted earlier on in this window was an interesting one, whereby he would go to Inter Milan and Denzel Dumfries would come the other way from the San Siro to Old Trafford. We understand that talks via intermediaries happened around 10 days ago. It hasn't been revisited since. There could be a situation where that could be revisited. I'm told it shouldn't be ruled out at this moment, but it's not active just now. United also looking at other right-backs, Monaco's Vanderson, Bayer Leverkusen's Jeremy Frimpong as well. But what they're trying to do is make sure that they're not left short in this transfer window. They want to agree deals in principle with 1, 2, 3 targets so that if, for example, Wan-Bissaka was to leave, they can go and pursue a deal that they've done a lot of work on.
Manchester United brought a Bologna player to the club in Joshua Zirkzee, and another Bologna player could be coming to the Premier League, and we've been talking about Riccardo Calafiori to Arsenal, but how close are we?
It's very, very, very close now. We know that the deal between the clubs is agreed. It's worth around €50 million for a player who impressed everybody at Euro 2024. He started all of Italy's group games during that competition, was banned for their last 16 game. Italy got knocked out. You put 2 and 2 together. Was that a reason that they got knocked out? It was. Well, he was a key player.
It would have been a contributing factor for sure.
He was a key player for them. We understand that he's expected to fly to London at some point today for a medical. Once that is done and all being well, he'll sign off on the personal terms and then travel again to the USA. That's what Arsenal are hoping he'll do, to join the rest of the squad on their pre-season tour. This €50 million, though, it represents quite a big profit for Bologna. They only spent €4 million last summer to Basel. But Basel were very clever as well because they knew this kid's got potential. And so they inserted a significant sell-on clause. Significant usually means 15 to 20%.
Yeah.
This was 50%.
Yeah, I was just going to say that is much higher than normal in terms of a sell-on.
That's probably one of the clauses that they wanted to put in by selling him for such a small fee initially. So if the profit is around 45 to 46 million euros eventually, then Bologna will have to split that in half with Basel. But it looks like it's a case of when and not if Riccardo Calafiori becomes an Arsenal player.
All right. Thank you for the moment, Darmesh. And don't forget the return of our dedicated transfer coverage. Good Morning Transfers, back from 9 each weekday from Monday morning onwards.